Well, welcome sports fans. We have our analyst back. She was gone last week. She's back, going to give us some phenomenal advice on these upcoming football games that we got going on. So, hey, who does Michigan play this week?
I believe is it Nebraska?
Nebraska.
They have a football team? I thought they had given up on their football.
They're
team,
looking pretty good.
It depends on if they wear hoodies or not.
Oh.
Old news. Old news.
Okay. All right.
Never gonna let.
We'll start off with the high school picks.
Glad I could
Sorry,
bring some
Jordan.
levity.
Now we've gotten past the Jimmy football. We have Derby and Campus. Derby's way too strong. I think they're going to win this game.
Derby.
Definitely going with the Panthers.
And Laura's not laughing. It's the stuff that just got
But
cut.
Kansas has had a tough schedule.
They have had a very tough schedule.
But he picks Derby.
Right.
Next, we got Garden City and East. Garden City's playing really well. I'm taking Garden City.
I'm gonna pick East, and I'm trying to decide if I really add all the commentary I usually have. But East, my parents went there. That's why I'm picking East.
Good commentary.
Yeah.
Garden City's actually pretty good, so I'm going with the Buffaloes.
Next up, we got Northwest and Southeast. Northwest is not the team they've been the last couple years, but hopefully they'll get it put together again, and I think they'll handle Southeast pretty easily.
Yeah, I think Northwest for this one.
Northwest has struggled early, but they are starting to hit their stride. They're young, but they whooped East last week, so I think they're starting to round into form. I'm going with the Grizzlies.
Next, we have West and North, and unfortunately, North is still no losses or no wins, and I don't see them getting one against West. So I'm taking West.
No, West.
Pioneers.
Probably one of the best games of the week is Maize South and Maize. That's a huge tradition. It's a huge rivalry game. Maize has got them the last few years, but I think Maize South is better this year than Maize. I'm taking South.
For some reason, I thought I'd already picked this game, but I'm gonna pick Maize South. I'm sure I picked them the last time I picked this game. So.
The motto out Maize is Maize won Maize, but I can tell you, having lived west most of my life, it is not one Maize. This is a very bitter rivalry, and I like Maize South. I like the way they run the football, so I'm going to go with the Mavericks.
Next up, we got Newton and Goddard. Newton is like Campus, has had a very difficult schedule, and they've played with some teams that are usually powerhouses. Goddard has not played well this year. I'm taking Newton in that game.
Oh, interesting. With that start, I was expecting Goddard based on Jim's. Newton.
As much as I like to pick Jordan's team, I'm going to go with the Newton Railers.
Next up, we got Andover Central and Salina Central. Andover Central is number 2 in the state in 4A, undefeated. I think they handle the Mustangs pretty easily this weekend.
Andover Central.
I think it'll be actually a pretty competitive game, but I'm definitely taking Andover Central.
So the next City League game we have is South and Heights, and if you remember last week, Jim and I both picked Andover in the Jeff and Jimmy show. We got invited to go out to KWCH, and for the first time was surrounded by the entire football team, and those were some big old kids, and we got intimidated, so we picked Heights. But Heights got beat very handedly last week by a good Andover squad. So South Heights game might be better than it has been in the past. Heights has lost some games, and the Andover one surprised me, but I'm still going to take Heights this week.
I pick Heights.
One thing I learned in a shop class in high school is always go with your first instinct. So that is what I should have done in that Heights and Andover game. Gone with my first instinct and stuck with Andover instead of going to Heights. But
You sure about that,
Was-
Jim? Which one did you pick?
Yeah.
I just thoroughly confused myself at this point.
I'm also really wondering about the shop class connection. Is your first instinct to not cut off like your fingers? Interesting.
So you're
Regardless.
taking Heights in this game?
I'm going with Heights.
Okay, got it.
I'm not going to waffle. I won't. Yes.
All right. The next best game, I think, of the week is Bishop Carroll Capon. Capon's undefeated. They're playing really well. Bishop Carroll has one loss, but it was the Derby. That's a huge rivalry game. I'm sticking with the Golden Eagles this week.
I have no football insight to add to this other than I taught at Bishop Carroll, so I will always pick Bishop Carroll over Capon. So there you go.
I don't like the way Capon ran up the score on Southeast, and my sister's kids went to Carroll, so I'm going with Carroll.
Okay, some Laura logic.
Exactly.
Next, we got Rose Hill and Mulvane. I'm taking Mulvane in this game.
Obviously, I will be picking Mulvane in this game. I don't know if either of you know, we actually have a recruit who coaches at Rose Hill, so it's kind of a fun game. Yeah, so Mulvane, and and I might have to go watch.
Mulvane's actually having a decent year, so
Yes.
I'm going with them.
Next up, we have Eisenhower and Arc City. Eisenhower's been struggling. They got by Goddard the other day. Arc City actually upset Mays, so that kind of put Arc City on my radar in the games afterwards. I'm taking Arc City, and they're at home.
I'll pick Eisenhower.
I'm going to go with the team based in Cedric County.
Next up, we got Holcomb and Cheney. Cheney is highly ranked in 3A. Coming off a big win against Pratt, who was undefeated last week, so I'm taking the Cardinals.
Cheney.
I actually picked against Cheney last week, and I learned my lesson. I'm sticking with Cheney.
Next up, we got Clearwater and Collegiate. Collegiate is highly ranked in 3A as well. Clearwater is down this year compared to a couple years past. I'm taking Collegiate.
I just feel like picking Clearwater.
Bold pick.
Yeah. We don't track my record, so.
I'm going to go with Collegiate. They're the better ball club.
Next up, we got Trinity and Andale. Andale's number 1 in 3A, so it's kind of nice to see that there's 3 teams here locally that are in the top 4 in 3A. Andale's going to win this game.
Andale.
What I like about Andale's going to win this game, but what I like, they're the far superior team, but they will keep the score within reason. They're not going to do what Capon did to Southeast.
That upsets you.
Yeah, he is holding on to
It
this.
lacks class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Holding on to that one.
Yeah. Win with class.
Okay.
Lose with class, win with class.
Next up, we got Kingman and Garden Plain. Garden Plain has disappointed me a couple times this year. I've picked them to win a couple games. Last week, they got beat pretty handily by Chaparral. Kingman is actually playing really well this year. I'm taking Kingman.
Kingman.
That was my logic as well. Garden Plains let me down on a couple occasions, so I'm going with Kingman.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Last of the high school games is Cedric and Remington. Cedric is undefeated. They're playing really well. There was a really good article in the paper about a kid that has tore up his knee from Cedric 3 times, and he's back playing. And
Wow.
it was actually a really good story, and made me even more of a Cedric fan. So I'm taking Cedric.
These games are pretty much my favorite to pick every time I'm on the show to pick because I generally don't know the team that's playing Cedric, so I'm picking Cedric.
Cedric's really good. I'm going with them.
We move on to college. We got Oklahoma and Texas. They're both losers in my opinion. I don't know how to pick a winner on this game, or if I even should, because it really doesn't matter at this point, does it?
I mean, Big 12 still gets their money.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and pick because we still get money because of them. So
For a little bit longer.
yeah,
Yeah, 4 years at least.
I'm taking Oklahoma.
So this one, I dislike one of them more than the other, so I'm picking Oklahoma.
I think this is actually going to be good. Texas has improved since they
Yeah.
switched quarterbacks, but I'm going to give the nod to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I don't like either of them either.
Well, and Oklahoma just hasn't been looking that great this year,
No,
so.
they haven't. I mean, last week was a prime example. They played a far lesser team.
Kind of like when they played Nebraska.
That was a different game. That was 2 quality teams.
It was like 3 weeks ago. You're right, it was a different game, literally.
And Oklahoma won them both, so
Just
I
barely.
don't know if that philosophy works this time.
It's a good loss. There's good losses and bad losses.
Same, good loss.
Next up, we got West Virginia and Baylor, which I think is probably the best Big 12 game. This one's kind of difficult to pick. Baylor's at home, so I'm going to take Baylor.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. Both of them at times have impressed me, and then at times I'm like,
Yeah.
you let me down. So I'm picking West Virginia.
West Virginia's impressed me this year, but it's at Baylor, so I'll give them the nod.
Got the running on the field thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
Next up, we got TCU and Texas Tech. I think this will be a competitive game. I'm going to take Tech in this game.
Man, Texas Tech really let me down. So it's hard to pick Texas Tech. I'm going to pick TCU.
I think both these teams are pretty bad, but I'll go with the Red Raiders.
And the last game is the team north of us that I didn't know still had a football team, but go ahead, yeah.
What I've come to the realization on this is that the resentment people have for Nebraska is how bad they used to beat them, and the bitterness is coming back because people see where this is going. They should have beat Oklahoma. They should have beat Michigan State. They're gonna beat Michigan. So
I hear a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas going on here.
Oh.
There is a big change. 'Cause
Also-
if you reverse back about 3 shows, you had Jim sitting here going, Scott Frost is out, we're doomed, we need a change, and look.
that's how you
Look at it
motivate
now.
someone. Proper motivation.
Okay.
That's how you motivate people. But yeah, the Huskers is going to be another night game, another primetime game. For some reason, they always end up on primetime on national TV. Odd night.
It's a good game to watch somebody get totally beat.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh.
Not gonna happen.
Who are you
Who are you
picking?
picking?
I am picking the Big Red.
Shocking. I'm gonna pick Michigan.
Shocking.
So I'm taking Michigan, and I'm going to waver a bet with Jim.
Oh,
That Michigan's going to win by 21.
Oh, okay.
And if I lose that, then I gotta wear your helmet or that silly looking inn that looks like North High. If I win, then you're gonna have to wear a K-State outfit.
I'll take that bet.
outfit.
Oh, no, wait, no, yeah. Good lawyer here. Shirt.
I'm wondering.
Shirt.
Come in with like a jumper or something.
Jumper.
We can find something
Shirt
as an
yes.
outfit. So.
What's
All right.
the
So
one?
Michigan's got to win by 21.
Yep.
That's
Is
who I'm
that,
picking.
is that what this, you know?
Oh, I have no idea.
The
what
spread's only like
spread
6.
is.
'Cause
That's how bad I think Michigan will beat them.
Okay, well then that makes it easy for me. I'm taking Michigan and the points. It's 3.5.
Thanks, Vegas.
That's 3.5.
That's
Tyler's been wanting me to do that
is
for
an
a while.
analyst right there just to look up.
Yeah.
She didn't do her pre-work.
Nick
so.
Saban's
No,
going to be
no.
hiring you. He's got like 47 analysts.
Tyler's been wanting me to do that for a while, so I did it. Check the box.
Shout out Tyler.
Well, it's supposed to be a nice weekend again. I don't think there's any rain. There was some rain last week, but hope everybody enjoys the weather.
K-State won't lose their 3rd in a row. Sorry to interrupt.
It's always
Positive
a win.
note, trying to be positive.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Jim. It's a win.
Trying to be uplifting. Apologies.
So I hope you get out and enjoy the games and the weather, and we'll see you back here next week.